Sometimes you just have to admit, guys, it's time to scale down.
All right, guys. So, like I was saying, aquascaping scale is very important. Now, why do I have a banana? All right. So, when you're explaining scale to somebody, all right, you're going to try to explain size. Aquascape is basically bringing something very large and shrinking it down to a small square. All right, that glass box, those aquariums that we are working with. All right, so I have a banana, and if I say, hey, I have a banana, the banana looks huge here, looks a lot smaller here, but if I were to measure it, whoop, we got a measuring tape here. All right, it is an 8-inch banana. All right, so no, I think 8 inches is pretty good, right, guys? But anyways, oh my god. All right, so 8-inch banana. If I were to tell you, to guess the size, you would have a hard time guessing unless it was compared to something that you knew already. So if I put this next to a phone, all right, so this is a phone case. This is my phone case. If I were to put this next to a phone, then you have a reference for that size, correct? We all know about what size an iPhone is, and if I were to put this thing, and you'd be like, okay, but if I put a banana and I said to reference a size of something else against a banana, you would have a hard time doing that because bananas come in all different sizes. All right? Boom. That's what scale is. So when it comes to an aquarium in scale and an aquascape in scale, we need to have comparison of size. So we need to have big features, we need to have small features, and those two are going to compare very well. It's going to give you that depth and that depth of field and vision that you're looking for in your aquariums and your aquascapes. All right? So if you don't mix those two and you just have a bunch of big stuff and then you don't have the right textures of plants and the right nuances and those small features, your aquascape's going to look very, very bland. Now, I'm a beginner aquascaper, but scale is something that I understand very well. I've done a lot of trying to draw stuff, and in drawing, when you're scaling stuff down, you have to take everything in scale. Like these small guppies right here. Look at how much more interesting they look up against the plant background compared to the bigger fish. Now, he doesn't look horrible, but I mean, it just visually looks so much different compared to that. A nice small fish looks like it's got a lot of room to swim around, and I think that's what we're going for in our aquascapes, right? You want to replicate nature as much as possible, and that's hard to do when your fish is bigger in a smaller, not that this is completely small, it's a 20 long, but in a smaller tank. I posted rate my tank on a short the other day, and in the comments section, someone mentioned, hey, your aquascape's awesome, your tank is fantastic, but not a big fan of guppies. And you know what? That was the comment I was waiting to hear, because that's the thing that this thing was missing. I couldn't figure it out. I loved the aquascape, but there was just something off about it. It was the guppies. And I think that comes down to the scale. Guppies are a medium-sized fish. They have a decent size to them. I think they look best in a 40-gallon aquascape. I have a 20 long. So how am I going to get my aquascape to have more depth? Smaller fish. Because we're going to increase that scale difference. We're going to have small fish with bigger decorations, rocks, woods, plants, whatever you want to call it. And that's going to increase our scale and more definition. It's going to make our aquascape look fantastic, guys. So I'm going to show you a little bit of the nuances to that. What I'm going to be doing, I'm pulling out some blue guppies, putting the blue guppies in my breeder pond, which is also going to be getting an upgrade soon as well. But we're not going to talk about that too much here because I'll make another video about that. But we're going to be taking our blue guppies out. We're going to be putting them in our pond, and we're going to be grabbing all of the nano fish that I have around the different tanks here. I got some CPDs. I have my lamp eye killies, and then I got my clown killies. That's what I couldn't think of. I'm going to put all three of those together in the tank in different amounts, and we'll see what it looks like, guys. I think it's going to be fantastic. Let's go. Wait. Coffee first. Let's go. All right, so this is the aquascape we're going to be working on, guys. Sorry for the dirty glass, but basically you can kind of see an idea of the scale here. We got a Corey here swimming along here, and he doesn't give a lot of depth to the tank. Now, it's a pretty decent depth, but if you were to find like a baby guppy or a shrimp here, they fill out the tank so much less, and it gives so much more interest to the image. You know what I mean? Like, it just makes the image look so much more interesting. All right, now, because I know that there are people that range in their abilities in fish keeping that watch my channel, that ranges from very, very beginners to people that are more experienced than me. I want to make a couple things clear. When you change things in your aquarium, the balance will change. I'm taking out a bunch of guppies, and I'm going to be switching to a smaller sized fish. So that means that I'm going to have to supplement the nutrient levels in my tank. Now, I'm probably going to add a couple root tabs in there. Hopefully some of that nutrients kind of leaches up into the water. And I'm not going to add too many nutrients because I'm going to wait for it to kind of balance out and see some of the effects that are happening. Because when you change too many things at once, that's when you're going to start going down a really dangerous path. All right. So my personal opinion in this kind of thing is I'm going to change the stocking level. I'm going to watch my tank over the next week or two, and I'm going to watch my plants really closely to see if they're being affected by the drop in nutrient level. And maybe it won't even be as bad as I think. All right, so these are one of the fish we're going to be putting in there. These are celestial pearl danios. I'm going to get a decent sized group of these guys out of here, and we'll put them in that aquascape. I breed these guys, so I have a good amount on hand at all times. And then I got some clown killies. Put some clown killies in the 20 long. It's heavily planted enough to where I think everyone's going to be able to get their own kind of territories.
Alright guys, I'm almost through with the transfer of fish and everything, and I just thought I'd make a mention of one quick fact. Since I'm lowering the bio load, took out a bunch of duckweed and a few of the extra Vallisneria plants that were in there because they create a bunch of runners, and I figured I'd lower the amount of plants there, thus keeping a better balance, but I'm not taking out too many because, like I said before, you don't want to change too much all at once. Alright, now you can see the scale difference. Look at that, it's the clown killie. I got a bunch of celestial pearl danios, and I got more that I'll throw in here eventually, but I'm going to start with these guys for a little bit here. And the main things is I removed a bunch of the duckweed, and I pulled out a couple plants to try to keep this in more balance, like I was saying. And I also am going to add lampi killies, but they're new, so I'm leaving them in quarantine for just a little bit longer. Since I'm kind of used to how this aquarium runs, I can predict that the bio load that I lowered is not going to increase, or not going to change the growth rate of algae or anything. What it will do is it'll decrease the growth rate of my plants. So what I did was I took out a bunch of those plants that are eating up those nutrients and gave it more of a chance of being perfectly in line. And you hear that crying, guys? Let's go check out this. Meet the new member of our family, Jax! He's a cute little baby puppy. He's a Morkie. 10 weeks old, and he's the new member of our family. He was the one that you heard crying there. And that's been this video, guys. If you have any questions, comments, like, subscribe, comment below, guys, and I will answer any of those questions. Have a good one, and check you out next time.